name is PJ, and I am in another episode at the EOD podcast, and I'm very happy to be here with the White Horse. I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves like I usually do, because I don't want to fuck up the names.
I'm Nick. I'm the drummer.
All right, Nick.
I'm Orlin. I play guitar and I do vocals.
I'm JD. I play bass and do vocals.
All right, welcome. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
They just literally performed 3 awesome fucking songs, and they were a little concerned. You know, like it's always concerns when you practice or play. It's different, right? Playing live than
It is
yeah.
different.
It's odd. We've never done in-ears before, so it was a new
But
experience.
you guys freaking killed it. It was amazing. Again, thank you for driving. I know you guys drive like an hour to be here, but take the time to come and do this thing. I always start with the same question for everybody. The White Horse. When you guys came in, I was like, "Is that from Revelations?"
Right.
So, who wants to give us a little rundown on the name?
You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. I kind of came up with the name. I pitched it back in the day. This used to be a lot bigger band. We used to have like 6 guys, and it was just like a jam band, and we did all covers.
So a lot smaller band too.
Yeah.
In
It's
that
a
way.
lot smaller now, but
Better band. I mean, now.
and I came up with
It's
the
okay
name.
to talk
'cause,
shit
like,
about the old men.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
who care?
No,
It was just
we
us.
still love those guys, but yeah. So the name we got from Revelation 19:11. There was this really cool like song by this band called Petra that I was like really into at the time, and it talked about the passage of scripture Revelation 19:11, and it is, the White Horse was like something that I thought was like really cool.
So, isn't the White Horse death?
I
Well,
think
that's the
that's
yellow
when
horse.
that's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This is talking about it's a different like horseman. It is
Different
confusing,
horsemen
though.
in the apocalypse.
Yeah,
Okay.
different horsemen. This is like
It's 4 horsemen, right? If I'm not mistaken.
yeah. There's 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and then like I think that happens later or earlier. I'm not sure. I should
Right.
study up some more on this.
Hey, no
but
biggie.
Christ is said to return on a white horse.
Right.
and-
Okay, so it's
yeah.
the guy with the sword in the mouth.
Yes.
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 If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken,
Eyes of
right?
fire.
Exactly. Yes.
Good.
Eyes of
All right.
fire.
Is it Yahweh like on his leg?
Yeah.
Yahweh.
Yeah.
Yahweh, the God of the Jewish. Right.
Yeah.
I don't think Jesus is Yahweh.
I think
If we were to get in it like that, like
Right.
I read some, I got some
Yeah.
knowledge in it, but it's in like Yahweh, who they used to call, back in the Old Testament,
Mhm.
because Jesus never mentioned the, if we go to John, he was like, your father is the devil. He was telling this to the priest, and the, all of them is like to the Jewish, like, the one that crucified, like, and because he's a father of lie, he's always been a liar, never truth in him. So he was telling them pretty much that their God was the devil. And it's crazy though. If we get into religion, to me,
Right.
like we talk about it a little bit, it's crazy because like, first of all, to be into religion, you had to have the knowledge that the transcripts and the translations are completely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Jesus, Yahweh.
I think there with the Yahweh thing, it actually I think is King of Kings and Lord of Lords written in his side, and the thing you said about your father is actually the devil. I take that as like how today a lot of times we were talking about earlier before we started recording, just about how there are Christians out there that aren't actually living the message,
Right.
and like I think they take what Christianity is and have kind of like bastardized it or perverted it to the point where it's just like a country club or something, and only
like a membership,
right,
you're part of the
exactly. And they've made it so much of a religion that the God part of it, the generosity part of it, the faith with works is lost on people. And when he's saying their father's the devil, I think he uses a lot of those people that think they're doing right for the Lord. Telling the kid with like long hair, "Oh, you're going to hell for having long hair."
So you think
or
he's
you're-
generalizing, like, is not their teachings? Because like, I think Jesus was talking about the teachings against the teachings they did. They were like, weren't he called the what's it called, the not the priest, the other ones,
The Pharisees.
Pharisees. Yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't be like you go and say all these prayers in the corner so people will see you,
Yeah, yeah,
but you hiddenly fucking don't do anything
Right.
for the others.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
you know, old people here, poor people, you don't give them
Right.
anything. And then wouldn't they come and be like, Lord, what do I need to do to make it into heaven? And he'd be like, well, just follow the command, the law, whatever Moses. I already do that. He's like, well, sell everything and follow me. And then
Yeah.
we'll get, because people, like, and
Right.
all these people, we're rich.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So-
Like we get into that materialism, and I think that's where part of the like the perversion comes in too, because like just living in like America, like we got it pretty good here, and
Right.
so like I'm pretty sure that rich dude would have traded places with the poorest person in America in a heartbeat, like.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
like they didn't have like any of like the luxuries and stuff that we have. They didn't
Well,
have
we gotta
like
think
TV
about it. It was
or-
2,000 years ago. I
Yeah,
don't think
AC
anybody
or-
had luxury back
Right,
then.
right. But like just like collectively, I think
Right.
we've all become a little like lukewarm and like just not really living the way we
name
should.
White Horse, it implies that I'm guessing like a background of return of the Lord
Yeah.
into
Yes.
the earth.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And well, like we can talk religion.
Yeah,
and all
dude.
kinds
Oh,
of
yeah,
things. And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
for
It's
sure.
cool. Like I have like I told you earlier, when you can say what were your point of view on.
Mhm.
I personally, I'm not a Christian. I used to go to a Christian church.
Right.
I found that it was very ironic that
Yeah.
we call the light of the world, but when it comes to help people, it's very
Yeah,
hard to help
absolutely.
people.
It is.
It's
yeah.
hypocritically to see somebody in need and you're like, we're gonna pray for you. What
Right.
the
Yeah.
fuck is that gonna make?
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, great, you can pray for me all day,
That's
but I have a need.
That's
Right.
a lot of the inspiration behind what we do is kind of trying to combat that thoughts and prayers attitude
Yes.
that a lot of people
We're
it's
very
like
much about action.
the Facebook Christians, I guess.
yeah.
So like I mean we spend more time in rock clubs than in church
Right.
by a ton. So
But like, I personally don't think that we should generalize like,
Yeah.
oh, this is sin, because to me it's like I don't think the creator of the universe
yeah.
is sitting somewhere where I cannot see him
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, this motherfucker just did this."
Yeah.
It's hell.
Uh-huh.
Hell.
Right,
I don't
right,
think
exactly.
it's like that.
No, we don't either.
In any way, shape, or form,
Mhm.
I must think that the power lives within. Like I get it. I could never question why or how. Why is the creation of things? I don't question that.
Mhm.
I came to to understand that I live in this creation.
Yeah.
So I had to. My number one job is to learn how to enjoy life.
Right.
Because most people try to go finding the truth of things and lose all that time not even living a good life, like being happy with what's around, being thankful. To me, that's
Kind of like living more here.
yeah,
and-
like
Yeah.
why are you seeking all these things, all these material things, but you're not having a good, happy moment,
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
And
exactly.
and within, to me, spirituality came to that,
Mhm.
where I went I went there, and I could find
Yeah.
nothing.
Well,
Right.
I think that can be like an unhealthy thing, like you're saying, and a way you can look at it is like just, saying experiencing creation, and then through that you are experiencing the Creator.
Right? Yeah. So I
you
think
see it through creation.
I was telling, and I have brought this up in the episodes before.
Mhm.
I read on Popular Mechanics.
Yeah.
The scientists realized that conscious connects into there's some sort of power around you
Mhm. Right.
where your conscious is connect to it, and is what allows you to make a song.
Right.
It's what allows you to write a poem,
Mhm.
to paint or make some art or express yourself in many ways.
That's awesome.
So
Right.
I think that's the power of the creator, like you said,
Mhm.
but you just cannot tap into it. Like you can't. Why? Because you're so caught up in the things that don't really matter.
Right.
Like why do I want to go out there and wash my car? A car that costs me a whole bunch of money and
Right.
it only takes me from point A to B.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to spend a good time with my daughter, maybe, laughing,
Uh-huh.
or with my wife, or with my friends,
Yeah.
Right.
or doing something that I think those things stop a lot of people from actually enjoying that
Mhm.
power and learning how to live with themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I see that a lot. Like just people not experiencing life, and things can become like that. It's easy to let things come like that. I guess we lose sight of what actually
I do
matters.
that all the time. I have
Yeah.
a big problem with that. Just
Yeah.
getting kind of wrapped up in this or anything that I'm just really hyped
Right. I
up
mean,
about.
it is easy. We live in a crazy world. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like they in
It's
2
a form
minutes.
of escapism too, but then
And
it goes
we
too
were
far.
given something that can help us lose track of everything. you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like so.
yeah, man.
But
It's
you know, like
insane.
considering that, the music, I was listening, like I told you, I listened
Yeah.
to the music like 1 or 2 days before, so I
Mhm.
kind of get familiar with. And your first song, the
Yeah.
guys that you guys play, what's the name?
Departure.
Departure. What's the background on it?
So that song, the intro is inspired by kind of what you were talking about, like the thoughts and prayers thing. Like you're saying, like just saying that doesn't really mean shit. And to an extent, I mean, I agree. I do believe that prayer has power.
Yeah.
But you still have to act. So there's
Right.
the scripture that says faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So that's the beginning lyric of the song is kind of talking about how if you're just saying thoughts and prayers and you're not really trying,
Yeah. You're not doing
it means
anything
nothing
yeah,
essentially.
Right.
So the first lyric is dead without the spirit, and it just kind of chants that over and over. So that's where the inspiration for that song came from.
And this was written with you three guys
Yeah, the
only?
three of us.
Or like with the ex-members?
No, this was everything we played today was the three of us.
three
so
of us.
Really cool stuff.
What about Nick?
Yeah, Nick, bro, you gotta
go ahead
talk.
and
You
talk
tell
about
me.
it.
I love your shirt. Satan is a cunt. I love it.
He had to go all edgy, and then I'm rocking the Charlie Brown.
Hey, I love
That's
Charlie
the,
Brown.
uh,
I
Charlie
also
Brown's
love
cool,
the
man.
This is
skeleton.
this shows like how my I don't know, my attitude in this band. Like they're kind of like tough dudes. I got the peanut shirt on. But yeah, you talk about kind of joining the band and how Departure came to be, if you would. I can help you on.
I think we started writing Departure before I was officially a member of the band.
That is
I
true.
came
We did.
To,
We
like,
Okay,
waited.
so you guys started jamming before you become.
Yeah, okay. Me and Orland goes back a long time. Like we were in first grade together.
That's a long time.
Yes, like yeah. And then I guess at fourth grade is when I moved schools and we lost touch.
Yeah, you moved
really.
away, and then you
And-
like lost your Facebook account, couldn't talk to him.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened to that Facebook account. But then I don't know, what was it? 2023. It's like January 2023, right? When
Was it? Yeah, it was January 2023.
they
when-
came into the restaurant I worked in,
Okay.
and like I ain't talked to Orland or Jay. Well, I never really talked to JD, but I ain't talked to Orland in years. But I realized it was him, and my sister also worked at this restaurant at the time, and I told her to not go talk to him because I was a shy person. I didn't want to talk to him, but my sister doesn't listen to me, so she went to go talk to him, and it turns out they needed a drummer, and I just happened to kind of know how to play drums.
So it just clicked right
He
there.
was like,
pretty
bro's
much.
got a drum kit.
Yeah. But like I say to people that ask me, I didn't play drums before I joined the band. I knew the very basics, but I didn't play before I joined really.
So you knew how to kind of like do the beats and stuff.
I could do like 4 on the floor.
Kinda,
That was it.
yeah.
I didn't even have limb separation to play like
And
complex
this is
stuff.
in 2023.
Yes.
Yeah, like
So I mean, I can tell that you came
2
far
years.
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
I was this whole me joining the band and everything we've done. I've kind of just been thrown into it head first.
it's
so,
been insane. Yeah,
so like
But it's kind of cool, like the story behind the story.
Yeah.
Like so.
Oh yeah.
To say, like I was there working, and if it would have been for my sister, then I would have not, talked to them. And
Yeah.
yeah.
so it's like a group of friends that you guys know each other, or
yeah. So me and him are brothers. So we started doing this same band. The concept, everything came to be like he said. Like way back
In 2016.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was 12. Like when we first started jamming. I don't know if that's when I guess that would have been before even. I'm
and
not
you,
good on
you
math.
teach him anything?
No, he actually has taught me.
Yeah,
a lot
I was
of
teaching
stuff.
him,
yeah,
actually,
he's
yeah.
taught me.
I'm
a
the
lot.
younger brother.
As
but
far as strings,
I
and
was
stuff,
playing-
like I was a brass player. I played
Yeah,
tuba,
tuba.
Yeah.
That's what you mentioned.
and strings was a whole new thing for me. And when I started, I was just singing.
You guys had that rock star. 70s
yeah, we just forced
Oh,
him to
cool.
play. We're
style.
like,
I
dude.
love it.
So yeah, he came on when it started. I didn't sing at all. I just played guitar. We had like 5 members. Well, it was like 4, and then he just came to watch us like jam. This was before Nick as well, and it was like, I don't know. It came around. I was probably reluctant to it, but he was like, I don't know how we got him to sing. I think we were all just sitting around complaining like, I ain't got nobody to sing, and he was like, I'm right here, fellas.
So you were the singer at first.
Yeah,
yeah,
started
just
singing, and then just we had all kind of stuff happen. Like, I was so much younger than everyone else. Like, it was a couple of dudes he went to high school with that I was jamming with, so they all knew him. I was his younger brother.
Yeah.
And then he showed up, so they're like, oh, it's JD. But that lineup slowly kind of fizzled out just because everybody had different interests. At that time, I was like, really just like straight up low key like metal elitist, like old school like classic rock, and like just like
I can hear it.
death metal, thrash metal,
yeah.
Iron Maiden, Priest, this classic metal stuff. And the other guitarist, like he was like the Carpenters and like old school, like amazing guitarist. But he was on some smooth stuff. Like we had to beg him to buy a distortion pedal, and so it just wasn't for him. I love playing with the dude, but that was Henry Hamrick. He's a good dude. We had one guy on bass for like, he might have showed up like twice. So we just for a little bit,
the bass players, they're so reliable.
for a little bit we just didn't have a bass player, so it was me, Henry on guitar, and then we had a dude on keyboard for a little bit, and then we had our OG drummer David Robinson,
right?
And he is now the bass player in Encre Noir. Local, amazing
David,
Charlotte
I know
band.
David.
Yeah,
We had texts. I mean, we don't know physically like that,
Right,
but
right.
we've been texting because we trying to get the guys over here.
Oh yeah, they gotta get on
Cool
here.
dude. Yeah, yeah.
But he was our first drummer. We grew up with him, and pretty much all the guys except CJ, the drummer for Encre. We know everyone else
Right.
growing up, like from high school. I've known David since I was 12. So he's like my best friend outside of these guys, and he's helped us a ton since like he left the band years and years ago. But like even since Nick, like we brought him in and like helped out. I think did we audition you with him? Or like, did David show up and just like watch you play? Or am I
don't
tripping?
think so. No.
Oh, he was around a
think you
lot
imagined
though.
that.
He kind of helped us.
Yeah, I didn't meet David until we recorded
Yeah.
Departure.
He helped us a lot though.
He helped us with the
Yeah.
recording.
He
Going out with that.
recorded like the all the tracks for those first
Three
for the 3 songs we have out. He did all the recording, and then we had him. Departure was mixed by Outsider Studios, and then the other 2.
Yeah, I can
Nick
hear
Cable
it.
at Gaston
Great,
College.
great tunes. I was trying to look you up first on Apple Music. I was like, they don't come up.
There's
But it was
somewhere,
the
yeah.
White Horse because
Yeah.
I put White Horse.
Yeah, you gotta get
Oh,
the
yeah,
V
no,
in
they
there.
put the V in
White
there.
Horse.
Gotta get the official.
I think that tune Departure has a lot of energy on it.
Thank you.
It's good. I love the vocals, the melodies. It's just
Thank you.
it's insane. And dude, I cannot tell you've been playing only this long. You
When we
fucking killed it.
when we recorded Departure, I was only playing for like 5 months.
Yeah, we put this man through it. Like,
yeah.
It's been an experience. Like, we just had a lot of faith in him. Like, we found him, and like we had been looking for a drummer for a while, because this is our 3rd drummer, and we've never been able to do the things we've done with any previous members until we got this guy. So
And it
You're
like
the backbone, man.
he is, man.
Yes.
He is, yeah.
and
What comes
with
to charm.
that, like, it was a godsend that we found Nick. We
Yeah.
were coming from like the darkest like point I think in our entire lives,
Mm-hmm.
because like our old drummer, he
Second
was
drummer. This is not
yeah,
David.
this is our
David's-
second drummer, not
yeah.
David, of course, but Jake Long. He was an incredible guy, incredible at everything he did. He was a basketball star, like
He was prom
just
king.
yeah, he was prom
Wow.
king. Like he was
Yeah.
loved by so many people, but he got into some trouble with like addiction and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Got on pills.
got on pills, yeah, and passed away. And what?
Yeah,
Was it
that's
22?
that's
sounds right.
That's
I think
something that a
2022.
lot of people struggle with,
Yeah.
especially musicians and anybody.
Right,
So we were kind of me and-
Cheers, Jake.
Jake
Yeah,
Long,
Jake.
yeah.
Cheers to Jake.
Cheers for
yeah.
Jake.
We me and JD are very shy, and Jake was the opposite. So like we just weren't around if he was like at parties or just with friends. We didn't just go like hang out or anything. So we didn't know what he was up to, and
Yeah.
he didn't tell us, and we didn't find out until it was too late. Like
Right.
I think too. I think he was maybe a little bit ashamed to tell us because of that and everything. And I just want everybody to know that's listening, like, don't look at us and think that we're perfect because
Nope.
we are a Christian group or anything. We're not. We're not trying to be. Our shit stinks too.
Right.
Right. If you're
No,
struggling
better.
with anything
yeah,
like addiction, depression, anxiety,
Any
whatever,
stuff.
it
Yeah.
absolutely is.
always talk to somebody and talk to us.
Very
because
true. Yeah.
we're there. And that night I told him, I said, we've got to get the band back, and we've got to just push this through and make
Yeah.
sure that this never happens to anybody else again
Because
within our power.
during that time, like,
And
we,
then
we weren't doing a lot with the band either when he was, when he got on the stuff, and it was partially to do with him, just not being present, and
Right.
but also like we were young and I guess naive.
we've
We
never
know
been
the
around
signs
that
now,
before.
and
We
don't want to
definitely
let it happen to anybody
Yeah,
never
else.
let that happen
How
again.
old were you when that happened?
Oh man, well, that was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago
So-
now?
He passed. Was he even
I think-
18 yet?
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
he was 17 when he passed. Fentanyl is what got him.
Fentanyl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying.
A lace peel.
It was
or-
lace.
Yeah, it was
he
lace.
he thought he had oxys. So he was doing better, and we didn't know about any of this really until he passed. He was doing better and going to rehab and everything. And one night he was by himself, and he relapsed, tried to get oxys, and it was laced with fentanyl. So
Hey,
he was gone.
it's a problem. I think that problem is worldwide. It's not just
Absolutely,
a U.S.
yes.
problem.
Exactly.
Or I have a friend. He's not really my friend. Well, we knew each other for a while. His name was Zach Moss. He was a local musician. I actually interviewed him on my podcast
Right.
when I started it. It was. I never put out that episode.
Right.
It was this thing, the same thing right here. I'm telling you about 2 years ago, or maybe a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
It was in Uptown. He came to a place I had over there, perform everything. He told us the story about how he recovered from drug addiction,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, he was a cool dude, like in a fucking talented musician, outgoing person, and all that. So we made the podcast and all that. In the process of putting the episode out and all that, and my guitar player, the guitar player in our band, told me, "Hey, you see what happened to Zach Moss? He died."
Mm.
Like I guess my guess, they never really said what happened. My guess, he might have relapsed because they found him in
Right.
his apartment. But like it's a problem that anyone,
Mm-hmm.
like at any given moment can
Yes.
find. It just takes like we talk about it. It just takes 5 seconds to.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like things like that, like you said, like helps you, inspire you to do things like differently. Like you
Mhm.
say Nick coming along
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
has been like a strong thing for you guys to do what you do now,
Yes.
and like write these 3 songs,
Mhm.
which is Departure, A Love,
Impossible. Yep. A Love Impossible.
Love Impossible,
And
and
Broken Teeth.
Broken Teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so A Love Impossible. What can we say about that song?
Okay. I'm gonna let you take this one as well because you're good. at
Yeah,
explaining
I
the song.
kind of did most of the lyrics for this one. It was me coming from a time where I had screwed up and I had done something stupid, like the most stupidest thing I've ever done. And I just got to a point where I felt like I couldn't forgive myself for what I had done.
Right.
I kind of like betrayed everything I'd been raised to believe, and I just acted completely opposite of that. I don't know why I did it. I guess I was upset or something, but the Bible talks about how even if our heart condemns us, that God can forgive us. And there's another passage. I'm not good with remembering where it
Don't
comes
worry.
from. I
Nobody
remember
does.
where they are, but it's with man it is impossible, but with God all things are possible.
Yeah. I think isn't like Ephesians or
I think so.
Yeah, right?
I think it
Or
is Ephesians.
Yeah.
something like that. I'm
Yeah.
not
Sounds
really
right.
what I know a lot of verses.
He's
I
versed,
just don't know
man.
what.
Right. Yeah. Where did that come from? Like, yeah, it's that's really the inspiration behind that. Is I kept telling myself, well, you might not forgive yourself, but God does, and it just having to go through that. And that's the thing too, like with talking about that stuff, it sucks, it's embarrassing, like, and you talk about it with people and it might hurt at first.
Yeah, right.
And people might get hurt, like, because you did something like that, but like ultimately forgiveness is the message behind that song.
Ah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
So just loving on people. And
Yeah.
Kind of like,
Hey, you know what? A lot of people talk about, how much they feel the connection with God and,
Yeah.
they pray and all this. But, can you really tell that not a lot of people really show love? You know what?
Yeah.
No, they
know,
don't.
love is not. I tell this to friends of mine. I was like, people think that love is man to a woman is like a man that comes and, shows
Right.
you, like, gives you flowers, takes you out places and all that. I personally think that man towards a woman is accepting who she really is without compromising her independence
Yeah.
as an individual. Like, if you don't love me the way I want to be loved, then I cannot love you back the same
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
And I feel that throughout the whole process, that's what I happen to understand when it comes to love from a higher being
Mhm.
yeah.
towards me
Right.
than the world. Like you said, like
Mhm.
I mean, who's perfect? No fucking body.
No.
So
no.
like, like I used to, like you said, those songs like were like I
Yeah.
used to feel guilt all the time
Yeah.
over things that I was raised
Yes.
to do. But then I have a daughter now, and when she was born, I was there, and it was an experience that I cannot explain.
Mhm.
To see a human being take shape and breathe
Yes.
their first
Mhm.
time, and you're like, shit, I'm responsible for that.
Right.
That person, like I, and then like you come back and reflect on yourself, and you're like, shit, I'm a shitty person.
Yeah.
But that's only reflecting on the fact that that person is not.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
not. It
The
doesn't
most
have
pure
any,
you can
any
be,
evil,
yes.
any
Right.
and well, not evil, but like any malicious thoughts, or it's
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
an innocent little child,
Right.
Yeah.
in many ways. And you like start reflecting, and you're like, okay, I need to make changes in certain ways.
Mhm.
But even so, you go through those changes, you still fuck up,
Yes.
Right.
and you feel the guilt, right? Those guilt that you. And to me, there was a day that I woke up and just say, I can't. She's gonna find her way, but I
Mhm.
cannot just tell her this is the way. I had to
Yeah.
show her, that we gotta be
Mhm.
kind to each other, that we had to be patient, that we had to
Yeah.
be strong when we had to be strong, but you had to be, cool when you had to be cool, and mostly accept other people.
Yes.
So, like in a way to show love or be loved, it's a way that, not just the way I think love works,
Mhm.
but I think that love is like unconditionally, people condition love now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should not,
Yeah.
if you, like if you love somebody, take it, like you said, everybody's shit stinks. So you take it how it is,
Yeah, I think it's in Corinthians where it says love is the greatest of all the commandments.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you're right on, and you're talking about not just going up to your daughter and just being like, "This is the way it is. You have
No.
to do this." And that goes back to the what we view our relationship with the Creator is. You find it on your own.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You don't,
like not
we have
feeling-
free will.
not feeling like people. I personally think that church tells you all these things.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're letting down. Like,
Mhm.
oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm
And you
letting
can't be driven by guilt.
No.
That kills people.
Because like
That's-
it's crazy. I saw this reel and on Instagram. It says like, religion, crazy shit ever. They want to make you believe in these invisible men,
right.
but this invisible man wants you to love him.
Mhm.
Like wants you to be good. But if you don't do good, this invisible man is gonna send you to hell,
Right.
Right.
right? But then also this invisible man always asking for money.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, God is good. I love him. But if you don't love him the right way, you do. No, I think that's the creation of a dogma
Yes.
Right.
that somebody said, this is the
Mhm.
way we can control.
Right.
That's a big part of it. I mean, religion.
Yeah, religion.
Since the dawn of time has been used for so much
Power
evil,
and
so
perversion.
much bad
So in
stuff,
that case, let
wars,
me ask you a
and
question, maybe out of the crazy. You guys think that we are the first creation or the only creation?
so you mean like,
Like, do you think there's like
Do you mean like aliens and stuff?
No,
Oh,
like,
I'm not-
I mean,
I'm
it has to
sure.
be alien. I mean, anything can be alien if it's
Yeah.
you know
If
like
it's just not here. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, but what I'm saying is like, do you think we're the only existing beings in the universe, or you think there's
Okay.
more?
I don't know, man.
I definitely think that there are things out there that are not like,
Like us?
yeah, like I think there's like paranormal things that happen and supernatural things.
Right.
I believe in that kind of stuff. Like there's spirits out there. They're not, some are good, some are bad, and I think a lot of that, you know, you talk about demons and stuff and aliens, and
Well,
I think
I wouldn't say demons. I would say like more like just because we know like this one thing that we know, we have a beating heart because we have
Yeah.
some sort of energy, right?
Yeah.
Like so
I don't know,
what they
man.
call spirit, right?
right.
So without it, we're
Mhm.
just dead flesh.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you're saying like other kind of people out there and other planets and stuff.
I mean,
or-
maybe you know like
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's-
That's a broad
I don't
question.
know, man. That's
you know,
tough.
it's like I mean, wouldn't be crazy, right?
No, I mean,
in theory, it's possible. I mean, because the universe is infinitely big and infinitely expanding.
Right.
So there's
Yeah,
a chance that there's something else out there. But also believe
more than likely there is.
yeah,
Yeah,
more than likely. But I also believe like it was never mentioned in the Bible. So
But you gotta think about this, and I'm not going against everything.
No, you're good, dude.
But the Bible has been manipulated a
True.
lot, and let
Yeah.
me tell you,
Yeah.
it was canonized in Italy, in Florence. So you gotta think that the people that canonized these things, I
Yeah.
mean, they also murdered a bunch of people that
Yes.
believe
Oh,
in
yeah.
these
Yeah.
things.
yeah,
true.
So, I mean, it's like a lot of people says in the translation, right? So it says in the beginning, which is the Elohims,
Mhm.
Elohim, which means the gods, the powerful ones.
right.
Why did they go back and put it into a singular? You know, instead of because it's proven that Elohim means the gods, the group of powerful
Right.
ones. So why would the translation go back later on and be fixed and to make it it doesn't help monotheism, like it has to be, because a lot of, if you go back in history, Jewish people believe in a lot of gods before. I mean,
Right.
they did. They even Isaiah and all that mention, do not go worship the queen of the heavens. And what was the main issue with God dealing with the
Like the prophets of Baal and stuff like that.
I mean, what was the main issue with Israel? They always went after all the
After
gods,
foreign gods, yeah.
right?
Mm.
I think the thing with that is like what I said, like those other entities, those other beings, and I think those are like, I think it's in Genesis where it mentions about, I think they call them the sons of man, come down and like
The sons of God. I
Yeah,
think it says in Genesis 6 that the sons of God were here
right,
and they have intercourses with the men
Yes.
of
Yes.
the daughters of men because they found them beautiful, right?
right.
I mean, if you go into that, then you got the Book of Enoch, you got the book,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bunch of stuff.
And I think I think that's where those other gods come from. Like, it says they were the great men of their time and stuff.
I think
mean,
y'all just
some
need
of
to.
them-
That's
Yeah.
for me. That's what I think those other gods and other beings are. Like, these are like maybe not the good guys. Like that are like
You believe
they're
they
not
have power,
for us.
though, and
Yeah,
not
I do
like a
believe that they have
being.
power in this world to manipulate and hurt people.
I
and-
agree. I think there's power in many things. I just think that if you really go in depth on this thing about a creator and love and all
Yeah.
that, it'll be a lot different than the outcome of what
Yeah.
people is usually because you challenge somebody's beliefs,
Right,
Mhm.
that person's gonna get upset.
Yeah.
right.
It's gonna be like, fuck.
I was gonna say
you are
uh,
heresy.
yeah,
you
yeah.
are
Right,
heresy.
right. Yeah, and that doesn't do anything. Like nobody learns from that.
Got you.
Oh, it's all good, dude.
We'll just do it again.
I always like to.
I was gonna say you guys just need to do an Old Testament podcast.
Yeah, we could like something like
You-
that. That'd be
you
pretty
two
cool.
just-
No, I told you. Remember, if we go in politics, I talk a lot politics, man. But I like this subject because not a lot of people. I would say not everybody likes to talk about it because they're ashamed somehow to express, or everybody's afraid of death. Everybody's afraid
Right.
of that. Whoever tells me they're not, they're full of shit.
Yep.
I just gotta say, call it what it is. I am.
Right.
But you know what? I realized that I'm not afraid of dying because where I'm going, I'm afraid of dying for the people I'm leaving behind.
That's same for me. I
That's
would be
because
afraid
I'm
to
not
leave
gonna see-
people back.
I'm
yeah.
not gonna see my daughter grow if
Yeah.
I die young at this moment, or
Yeah.
my wife, but that's something that I came to understand. That I was like, I had to, they're gonna thrive, they're gonna move on,
Yeah.
Right.
because we have lost people,
Mhm.
and we're still here making a podcast right now,
Right. Right.
So-
Absolutely.
So these are things that what I was telling you earlier, to learn how to live a life in the place where you were placed to live a life. You
Yeah.
only get one shot at it that
Right.
I know of.
Yeah.
right.
You only know you only know what
I
you're
mean, I
living.
have dreams that the things that I never lived before. I
Yeah.
don't know if I've been somewhere else before. No, I don't know.
Mm.
I cannot tell you that for sure. But I am here right now,
Mhm.
and that's what makes other people. When I was older, I went to church. I used to like pray, go be part of the
Yeah.
youth, and I still fucked the shit up of my life. I did
Yeah.
it because I was crazy. I'm still crazy. Though. Sorry about that. But
it's okay.
I think we're all a little crazy.
but like you said, like having this background that you guys have, I never really thought about being. I when I read it, I was thinking, I was like, the white horse. That's the apocalypse.
We're sneaky with it because, like I
Yeah.
said before,
But
we
it's
don't.
cool, it's cool that you
Yeah.
guys, as long as, like you said, we are actions
Yeah.
rather than words.
Absolutely.
That means
That's
a
the
lot,
big thing, and
Oh,
just
Yeah.
like going to shows and just being a part of it instead of going in and thinking you're better. Because like
Yeah.
this is the,
Yeah, that's
the culture
that's actually
of
a good analogy too.
the culture of like the rock shows and stuff like that's us. Like we're not putting on a front coming in. It's like,
It's the stuff we enjoy.
and we
to
don't want
do.
people to be like that. Yeah. So we take a lot of inspiration our approach from Black Sabbath. I don't know if you're.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you know
Yeah.
Sabbath, but I don't know if you know like
Black Sabbath.
if you're like
I think
hardcore.
anybody who's in a rock
Yeah,
band
you know
or
Sabbath.
a heavy
lot of-
band.
I didn't mean it
I
like
think,
that.
I think Ozzy Osbourne was pretty good
yeah,
singer. I saw him live when he was older,
Mm.
yeah,
and like I mean, like inspiration. That's the problem. The people I'm gonna use this word. I don't usually
Mhm.
demonize shit.
Yeah.
Like you're like, this is bad because this is what they do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna say, like, we take inspiration from the way that they write lyrics. Like you were talking about, the devil being the Lord of the world. They have a song called "Lord of This World"
Right.
about Satan that's on Master Reality. It's like the record that inspires us the most, at least me and him,
Yeah.
to do this. Lord of This World on there, and that's like what it inspires us lyrically. And then there's another song, After Forever. So like those dudes were like the first Christian rock band, Christian metal band, and we don't use that title because
No.
we don't want to turn people
We
away
don't
from
wanna
enjoying
alienate
our
anybody.
music. We want people to come to the show and have a good time regardless.
I think people would not care really. Like
no, they
like,
don't.
At this point,
like, and they
at
ask.
This point,
We
people
don't lie
have-
to anybody. We tell them like,
No.
yeah, of course. But
I think that's the thing.
I don't
There's-
like the term.
There's like a respect like amongst artists too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to agree with anything you're saying, but if you've got the guts to get on stage in front of
Mhm.
all these people and sing about it, I respect you.
Yeah.
And I can say like I enjoy that as artwork. I might not agree with everything you've
Yeah.
got to say, but it was a good show and you did a good job. Like
Yeah, and
I
also
respect that.
like I think respect resides or lives in the
Mhm.
fact that you also respect others. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
what they have to say and do.
Yeah.
Like if I was to judge everything the other does, I'd be like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Life
don't
would
want to
suck
judge
because
anybody.
you couldn't
Right.
enjoy anything.
I used to be like that, like, and my wife gave me a lesson. It's like, can you, like, I used to judge some things, and she was like, why can't you just respect things?
Yeah.
Right.
Just stop. And and it's true. I
Yeah.
mean, little by little, I take lessons. You take lessons from people around you. Like
Mhm.
you're like, yeah, if they Christians, who cares? That's
Yeah.
good. They make great fucking music.
Like
I
he's a big black metal guy. So
Yeah.
like you would imagine
I
like
know, and
the-
Satan is a cunt.
yeah. like so that you can appreciate the art form no matter what. Like respect that takes guts to get out there and do that no matter
That's
what they're
good.
saying.
Yeah.
You were going to say something, Nick?
Yeah, like what was just gonna comment on the black metal thing. Like the music subgenre I listen to the most is black metal, and that's mostly like satanic, dark stuff. but I can appreciate the art form because I just love it.
Yeah.
Right.
I love how it sounds and stuff like that. I'm not there.
So you really like the double bass pedal
Oh, yeah.
and the
Mhm.
3-hour solos?
Yep.
It was boring. I
And
just give it crap
you know
all the
what's
time.
crazy?
Yeah.
Swedish people has the craziest, darkest metal ever.
They
yeah,
do, yeah.
Swedish, Norwegian,
Right?
all that,
Yeah, like
and it's so raw. That's what I can respect about it. Is like they don't try to like popularize it. I guess.
We're cutting the recording.
But you know what's
budget
crazy?
now.
I'm gonna tell you something that's crazy about it. I don't know if you might know it or not. But in Europe, they actually don't believe in a lot of deities and stuff like that. They
Right.
think
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
ends right when you die,
Yeah.
and so that's why they write all this shit. Like
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
reading an article about it,
Right.
and I'm like,
Europe is just dark.
Right.
yeah,
right.
they
It's
just
a dark
straight up
place.
fucking
It's a
dark. They don't
cold,
make,
dark
they
place.
make dark techno, dark everything.
That is true. European music is traditionally darker.
Yeah,
music
and
than-
like I guess in this side of the the ocean, we tend to be more like lovely, and we want to
it's
live
more
longer.
romantic.
Because
Yeah.
do you know that also in Europe is the highest rate of fucking suicides?
I didn't.
Especially
Mhm.
especially in Finland, in places like that,
Yeah.
where everybody's super rich because they
Mm.
they live well. But at 50, 56, they're like, we acquire life, and
Yeah.
we find life boring. So bye.
Yeah, literally. Like
That's
it's-
fucking crazy though.
Yeah.
That shows you though, like
It's not about the material.
Yeah, you
or
can't
any
get
of that
No,
stuff.
happiness from the world.
Exactly. Yeah, money is in happiness though.
No.
Like people just find it boring, and then it can happen to anybody.
Mhm.
But that's crazy though. So
I feel like your setting has a lot to do with stuff like where you're set and how you just live your life depends on your happiness.
I think that it comes to people to really get the strength to actually fight for the things that overcome
Yeah.
the problems, because
Yeah.
life comes with problems every day.
Mhm.
Every day is a fucking problem.
Mhm.
But people get tired and they're like, I don't want to deal with it, and they just decide to check out
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up.
it's tough.
It is. It's
It is
awful.
tough, but your shirt reminds me of that shit that I watched that I was telling you earlier. It was like, they kicked me out of church. Why? Because I said, fuck the devil.
Yeah.
I was like, don't we hate that motherfucker?
Oh, it fits his vibe because it's like the rip on the old Cradle of Filth tee, where it's like it's like Jesus instead.
And
Yeah.
that
So
actually
it's-
comes from a church. I think they're out of Ohio, but
Yeah, they're in Ohio.
they're
Stuff.
great people. They their whole thing
So-
is for metal
Heavy
fans.
metal church.
Their whole
Wow.
ministry. They're the first heavy metal church of Christ, and
Really?
yeah, they've
Wow.
been like a huge inspiration for me personally, and I
Shit,
guess
that's-
now for Nick as well too,
Yeah,
because
I
like
saw the shirt and had
they're
to
they're
get it.
just had
doing
to get the
they're doing
education.
good stuff. They got like
I like the
some
Charlie
good
Brown
stuff.
shirt, just by the way.
this
you
is
know?
Oh, yeah.
the hardest shirt on this set right now,
Yeah.
guys.
All right, before we close out, the third song, because this is
Yeah.
just too interesting. It was Broken Teeth.
Broken Teeth.
yeah.
What are we talking about that in that
So
one?
that one's also biblical, and dude, my memory is so bad.
I got you.
But
If you don't, I remember where you told me it came from.
So now let me ask you a question before we
Yeah.
go to that. How did the writing process start? Is it a bass line or a guitar line?
it's all over the
Oh,
place.
Broken Teeth actually started with lyrics.
Broken Teeth.
We
started
tried to
with
put the
lyrics.
lyrics with something else. Some other music we had writing,
Right.
but it wasn't working. So
Yeah.
we just started writing music to the lyrics. So it just came off.
He read that line, and we were like, man, we need to write a song about that.
Right.
That goes crazy. So the music came after. We wrote the lyrics, and then we wrote music around it. That's very opposite of what we normally do. I think we've only ever did one other song like that.
I don't
And
know that we finished it either.
No, Millstone.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have another
Millstone
song
is-
that was about killing pedophiles, and that one that we're working on getting that one done.
I'm with you
soon.
on that one. Let's kill them fucking pedophiles.
But yeah, I was just kind of very angry. I had just like, you ever just like go on internet like Facebook Reels binge or Instagram
Rabbit
Reels,
holes and
Right.
stuff
and then
like
I'm
that.
just like seeing all these like Catch a Predator videos and just getting pissed off, and I'm like, write some lyrics.
Yeah, I
So
gotta write a
we
song
wrote
about
the
that.
lyrics, and then the next practice we met and wrote the song in like less than an hour. So
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was
our
Millstone.
it's like Bad Brains influence. Like it's a lot different than what we did today. We have a lot of weird songs
Yeah.
in the works that are just all over because we all love so much
I
different
guess
music.
every band has that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that one's like a hardcore punk song. It's just all growls.
So you would
kinda.
define your sound as a. Oh, sorry.
You're good, dude.
You're
Sort of
good,
like
man.
like a metal.
I
Like
we
a
get
metal,
billed as
like
just
a
heavy metal.
like metal
lot.
music or
Yeah.
rock? Or what would it be?
We're all around. I'd say overall, we try to get away with just saying metal or heavy metal
Heavy
because it's
metal.
easy. But like
I would say heavy metal.
heavy metal's
Heavy
the
metal
best
is
one.
the-
Based off the 3 we did today, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
we
like
got some more more
yeah,
punky
yeah.
stuff and the other stuff.
Yeah.
We got
I
big
like-
punk influences
Like
too.
if I had to like narrow it down to like something exact, I'd say like it's like proggy, heavy punk metal something.
yeah,
like that.
it's like I tell people we sound like a punk band trying to play progressive metal.
yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that.
That's at least the
I would
way
say
I
like
feel.
maybe even classical metal.
yeah,
Yeah,
classic
Yeah,
metal.
that's what I would say.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah, we
like
got heavy
and
influences from
the,
that.
the lyrics are very high, high note. I can
Mhm.
hear
Yeah,
from that.
yeah.
So because you guys got the voice for it, it's
We'll have to
fucking
bring the
just-
punk stuff out for the next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really like your style.
Thank you,
I
dude.
think it's a different. I like that you embrace that. Your background on music
Mhm.
and it just makes the music interesting.
yeah.
yeah.
And it's very pleasurable to hear it. Like
Yeah.
I was listening to this morning and it's fucking good. I
Thank
mean
you.
the recordings are great. The mixing,
you.
the
Yeah, appreciate
and
that.
and watching you live is even better. So I am very grateful, guys, that you guys came. And we had a
Absolutely.
great talk, and hopefully you guys have any shows coming up.
We got a lot of stuff next
We're going-
weekend.
yeah.
Yeah. You want to take it?
Sure. We're going to Florence, South Carolina next weekend with our friends in Blissful Thoughts for a sold out show. They just dropped a new album, and it's their album release party.
Right.
I can't think of the name of the album right now.
Bro owns the album. Do you know the
I
title?
can't remember the name. Of the
We're
album.
so
It
sorry.
happened. Well, they just dropped an
Tyler,
album.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like
Tyler.
they're great.
Oh.
Blissful Thoughts. Look them up. They're great. They'd
Fantastic,
probably be
man. Yeah.
good to have on the
Good fit
podcast
for
too.
you.
Alright, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get on that. Too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also,
Yes.
you guys, what's your handle on Instagram? At the
It's
White Horse.
1911.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
White Horse 1911. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just 1911.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And also, so you guys have that show and any other shows on?
Yeah, we're playing Petty Thieves Brewing in Charlotte, March 22nd. It's for I think their 4.5 year anniversary,
That's pretty
and
cool.
it's a cool vibe. It's called Satanic Panic. So yeah, it's funny.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we got like a big old goat on the flyer, and it's like music from the White Horse.
Oh, I saw it. That is
Yeah,
really cool.
so we're doing that, and we're just paying tribute to like the classic bands like Maiden and
That's
Priest,
cool.
Dio.
Yeah.
We're doing all our originals, 2 sets, and we're gonna sneak in, sprinkle in some covers.
Yeah.
Not too many,
All right, got you. No,
but
don't
just
get
the
too-
classics. Some old school punk, old school metal. Just
Got some Kiss in there.
the old stuff that scared the
You don't have the
suburbanites.
tongue though.
Yeah, I know. Gotta get the blood capsules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the big boots.
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
butt.
the big
the
butts.
platform boots.
Nah,
Gene
that's
was
you.
kind of thick.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
And you guys are awesome, cool dudes. Like everybody go and listen to their music. It's on Spotify and Apple Music,
Yeah, I think it should be everywhere.
Yeah.
YouTube,
everywhere.
and
We'll get on
whatever
DistroKid
other
if they don't
platform.
got it.
Bandcamp, I guess.
Not yet. We got to
No.
get on there. We're not on Bandcamp.
No,
I don't
we're
have
not on there
Bandcamp
yet.
either. Anyway, so all right, thank you so much. Listen
you
to
so
the
much.
podcast and subscribe. Appreciate it.